Hi everybody, this is Lauren Evanthea and beside me is Des, and we are going to be bringing you a very interesting article today about a development that's taking place that is in what looks like the center of the world and in the middle of the desert, and that is the line. You might have heard about the line.
Well, it seems like they want to make it the center of the world. So the line, I'm quite familiar with the concept of the line. I've studied the line, and there's a lot of people saying a lot of things about the line.
Well, over here it says we're going to be covering this article, Saudi Arabia not building the line but will create using AI. What on earth could that mean?
Well, I'm not sure that they understand what it means until they actually start doing this. To me, it's just a whole lot of concepts being put out there, and it's going to be interesting to see where this ends up. Because digging, they are digging. They have started digging out kilometers and kilometers of sand in this long straight line. And if you look at the link to this article in the description below the video, as well as in the first comment, you will see pictures of this long dig out, because this is literally a line in the sand. And I think this is what they are trying to portray.
Symbolic. I think we should just give a little bit more background here. This is like the ultimate smart city. It's way beyond what a smart city could be. And what we see here is that
It's a prison, like full on.
it's a prison. But it's humans being seen as a problem needing to be solved. So we are overpopulating, we are using too many resources. So let's create a solution to make humans live as densely as possible on top of each other and have as small of a footprint as possible on the earth.
In this case, it's literally on top of each other. Maybe you want to give the dimensions of this.
We'll go through that now, but
Okay.
let's just cover the article and then I'll talk a little bit about what the line actually is. It says here Saudi Arabia will not build the line directly, but will use a lot of artificial intelligence to design through a digital twin backbone, according to NEOM's executive director, Giles Pendleton. What on earth does that mean?
Confucius said. I think he's confused himself. I think it's easy to just say something, especially if you need to sell something to the Saudi Crown Prince. If you stuff up, your head might be on the line. So I think this guy needs to sell and sell and sell, and hope that things work out. I know that the Saudi Crown Prince is actually the CEO of NEOM, who is the company that is designing and promoting all of this weirdness.
We'll share NEOM's interesting website with you in the description. But what does that mean? We are not going to build the line directly, but use a lot of artificial intelligence to design through what's a digital twin backbone?
Well, they don't really explain that, but I think what they are trying to say is that you aren't directly building the line, you're going to be building modules, stack them on top of each other in order that AI has decided upon. In other words, AI will decide how people live, how far they are from things, etc. So they won't decide how to build the line. AI will decide how to build the line and how to put the line together.
According to Arabian Business News, in an internal interview, Giles Pendleton states, "We've got to build quite a lot of real estate in a short space of time. But why are they putting a time limit on it? Why is that necessary?"
Oh, look at the year 2030.
Oh, great. Well,
Great, yes.
we're not actually building the line. We're assembling it from a series of modular pieces that are pre-engineered and predetermined as to what they do.
By AI. Literally.
Strange, still.
So this is the first time AI will decide how people live. Completely. People will not have a say.
That is
You
frightening.
see, it has to start from AI for this to be a proper future smart city. And you'll probably see that what people call the future world leader coming from this dispensation that lives
So
in
the
a city
headline
like
should
that.
actually be AI creating human prisons.
Well, that's a perception, I suppose.
Well, it's
At
my
the end of the
perception.
day, yeah.
Pendleton added, but if we need 100 million of them, It's easier for us to set up a factory and create exactly the same block 100 million times.
100 million blocks, that's a lot of blocks.
We will create very simple process with optimized, standardized, and industrialized production, whereby things are made in factories in large-scale volumes within NEOM, so that we don't have to transport them far. Think of it like a giant assembly kit. The great thing about pre-engineered parts is that you can control quality and dimensions so things connect. So this is basically, think of IKEA creating Atlantis.
Yeah, well, like Tesla Gigafactory, where you have robots assembling things at a massive speed. But a Tesla hasn't built 100 million Teslas.
No.
Now they're talking about 100 million blocks. But this is something a lot of people can try and comprehend, except for the number. But actually building something, it being modular, it makes a lot of sense today. But build something modular strong enough to make it 500 meters high, that's a very different ballgame altogether. What materials do you use, etc. So a lot of architects have said it's physically impossible for the line to be built.
Drone photos of the line, which is said to be planned to build its digital twin with artificial intelligence, have been published in the past months.
Well, look at that.
Well, there's two photos you'll see if you open up the link, and that is a very strange comment, in my opinion. It almost seems like it's not a mega city, but a meta city.
Well, the thing is, it's going to start off as modular, and it will be built as the demand grows. That's the whole idea. So what they are saying is they'll start at one side and then work their way across, which also makes sense. So a lot of people might buy into it. So how much length do you need to be able to build 500 meters high? Well, AI determine that too. Based on what they say, AI will determine everything that they do.
The line is a human-centric futuristic city concept created by NEOM and designed for approximately 9 million residents and built a footprint of 34 square kilometers. I find that number 9 million very interesting.
It is interesting because there's been many other ideas punted out there where the citizenry is always between 9 and 10 million, always less than 10 million. For instance, Rob Hersof's infamous citizens in the blockchain. So having a blockchain country, that actually adds up to just over 9 million people. So I find the fact that this number keeps on cropping up, I find that interesting.
It's interesting, and just to give a perspective, 9 million is more or less double the population of the city of Cape Town. So double of Cape Town would be on this line. The project was designed with a model where residents can reach facilities they need by walking for 5 minutes. What facilities? Like a toilet?
I hope not. So 5 minutes in any direction would get you to any facility you need.
It seems impossible. It means our needs have really dwindled.
Well, firstly, there can't be any disabled people within NEOM for that to be possible.
Why do you say that?
Because if they don't have the ability to move fast enough, if you're in a wheelchair or you're overweight and you're struggling to walk, that would negate that. So the whole idea behind NEOM is that the people in there are healthy and fit. And this is certainly something they're portraying in their adverts. And I haven't heard them speak about anyone that is other than fit, gorgeous, beautiful, and desirable. It's almost like they are setting certain people apart from the rest of the world.
Strange.
Just an observation from my side.
Prince of Saudi Arabia and chairman of the NEOM board of directors says the designs revealed today for the city's vertically layered communities will change the traditional flat horizontal cities and create a model for nature preservation and enhanced human livability. The line will tackle humanity's challenges in urban life today and will shine a light on alternative ways to live.
Well, that is actually fascinating because he is the Saudi crown prince. He's basically running Saudi Arabia at this stage, and he has a vested interest. Must be putting a lot of money into this idea. He wants to reinvent Saudi Arabia. I know that they want to build nuclear power stations there. They're preparing their own a nuclear regulator. So they want to do something different than just producing oil and putting it out into the world. And it's almost like they've turned around from being an oil producing country to being exactly the opposite. And this is what the line in the sand represents, is that massive change. It's actually quite fascinating.
Well, one could see it as Saudi Arabia keeping up with the times, trying to stay ahead, trying not to be left behind while.
Well, if they run out of oil, they certainly want a new way to live.
Definitely. So if you go to NEOM's website, which we'll put the link in the description below, it's neom.com. I'd like to describe what the line is actually described as. The future of urban living. The line is a civilizational revolution that puts humans first, providing an unprecedented urban living experience while preserving the surrounding nature. It redefines the concept of urban development and what cities of the future should look like.
Well, the surrounding nature is sand and rock. And in fact, many people have been displaced because of the building of this line. And the people that protested against it were incarcerated and later executed, true Saudi Arabian style.
So not much freedom of speech there, I guess.
No, definitely not.
So it says here, no roads, cars, or emissions. It'll run on 100% renewable energy and 95% of land will be preserved for nature. People's health and well-being will be prioritized over transportation and infrastructure, unlike traditional cities. This to me looks like your little AI companion manager will tell you what to eat and when, and you won't be able to move much, except for perhaps walk 5 minutes to whatever your facility is.
Well, I think the nature they speak of is inside the city, because outside the city there's nothing. And that's why they're actually building reflective outside surfaces. And many engineers have said it just thermodynamically won't work. Now, I'm not going to speculate on the viability of the city. The future will tell us. I haven't looked at the designs. Maybe they've come up with ideas that most designers or architects couldn't even think of. Maybe there's materials available that they're aware of that can be used to build a structure like that. So I'm not criticizing that side at all. I question that way of living, and I certainly think that the youth would be drawn to that, or someone that don't understand that there could be something better than that in real nature. We are free to move around. This place certainly looks phenomenal if you look at the footage. They've put a lot of money into actually doing cinematography, etc. And something I found interesting is that they actually used Arabic women in an ad shoot for the city, the line, and for Naom's developments, just with their normal hair down, no coverings whatsoever. And for Saudi Arabia, that's very progressive. It's almost like they saying that the Naom development area is separate to the normal country. It's a new world order.
No religion, no culture.
Fascinating.
Only 200 meters wide, but 170 kilometers long and 500 meters above sea level.
So it rises high up into the sky. You'll probably be able to see this from space. If you actually go to the links and you look at the articles, you look at the website, you go to the YouTube channel, and you look at the content there, you will see that this is a serious undertaking. And I didn't think that they would actually start building it, but construction is in progress. There's a lot they need to do first. If they say that they want to build all these modules there in Naom, it means they need to put all the infrastructure there. I've actually taken the liberty before to look at satellite images to see how they are developing, where they are developing. And you can do that yourself, and you might find it fascinating what you see. It's far away from anything. So it's like everything's been built out of nothing.
There's two more points I want to bring up, which I think is relevant. And
I can't wait to hear.
it says on the website itself, world-class quality of life, where the best and the brightest live. What you were saying earlier.
Yes.
A place of unparalleled social and economic experimentation.
Wow.
Without pollution and traffic accidents, coupled with world-class preventative healthcare, so people will live longer. I wonder how much it will cost to get into one of these cities.
This will be the interesting part, to see who actually buys into it.
Not just who buys into it, but how accessible it will be.
Well, I suppose maybe in part 2 or 3 or 4 on the line, we
We'll
will be
discuss
digging
that.
into that. We'll certainly be doing a lot more research and bring you more information on Stranger Than Fiction with regards to the line. Maybe we could even interview someone that is a part of the project
I would love
and
that.
get their perspective. I think that'll be important for people to understand, because this is literally the line in the sand for a new order within the world. I think totally separated from the world. I'm almost certain that they spoke of a whole new governance system too, where AI rules how people do things. In other words, there's no more police. There's no more. None of those things will exist at all.
No,
There won't be a president. There won't be
it won't be necessary when
none of
AI
those
governs
things.
everything.
Correct.
That's the last point I'll bring up, and then we can cover the rest in future videos on the line, which we'll definitely cover from time to time. A place to prototype businesses. Built around humans, not technology. A cognitive city that predicts and reacts to what we need, not the other way round. Zero gravity living will mean a higher density footprint creates a richer human experience and new business opportunities. Some 380,000 jobs will be created by 2030. So there's quite a lot of keywords there, but the one that sticks out to me the most is zero gravity living.
7 years from now.
We won't be bound by gravity. I
Fascinating.
wonder how Isaac Newton would think about that.
Turning in his grave, maybe.
And if you watch the promo video when you open up the website, you'll understand more
Yes.
about what it will mean to live in this new city. And I am nervous for the future because on one hand, we have these leaders in the global realm deciding how humans need to live. And anyone that wants the opposite, anyone that wants the contrary or anything alternative will be seen as backwards, as prehistoric, as scared of moving with the times.
The leap is massive, isn't it?
It is enormous.
So it does make you prehistoric, like almost instantly.
Yes.
Almost undesirable.
Yes. So who knows what will happen to anyone that wants to live in any other way than what is being proposed. It's sobering to see what the future looks like. To me, it seems like you either comply or die. And with that sobering thought, we will leave you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe.
And click the bell icon to receive notifications for new videos. And remember to share these videos with your friends and family.